This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64, and it reads, And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Verse 65, And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Verse 66, And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. Verse 67, In the morning thou shalt say, Would Yahweh it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would Yahweh it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. In verse 68, And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makakwadash, Brakatam. Double honors shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone, who continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Hakims, a great millstone, the like-minded camps, and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. And also shalom to the sincere Akwats, who are continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right. So for those who've been, hearing this word, all right, you should be familiar with this scripture by now. As far as Deuteronomy 28, okay, and the curses that have been bestowed upon Yasharallah for our disobedience to him, okay, to Yahweh, all right. So I had this lesson, this particular scripture on the previous lesson about this Edomite calling himself Dan, brother Dan, from the place called Love. And he was trying to say that Deuteronomy 28:66 would apply to the Edomites. And I had to rebuke that. And the title for that lesson was, He is Dead Wrong. So I'm going to repeat that scripture again, Deuteronomy 28:66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. So again, he misconstrued that precept. That precept is for Yasharallah. All right? It's for Yasharallah. And particularly the southern tribes, okay? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, all right? Because remember, you got the northern tribes, which are mainly the Hispanics and the so-called Native American Indians. And then you have the southern tribes, which I just mentioned, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So why did I bring out this precept again this time around, because the title for this blessed lesson is going to be From Slave Ships to Spaceships. I repeat, from slave ships to spaceships. Y'all heard? So for the average Joe Schmo, they're going to be scratching their heads like, huh? What do you mean? From slave ships to spaceships. What's this dude talking about? Yo, he bugging. But again, when you're not in this higher spiritual elevation, of course you're going to say that. But I'm going to prove my point anyway. Because remember, Deuteronomy 28:68, that's the end all be all for the slave ships. I'll read it again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, America, with ships. These are the slave ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more, meaning see Jerusalem no more again in this lifetime. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you or redeem you. Okay? So that's the slave ship part of the equation. But guess what? We're in these exciting times right now where this wicked kingdom of Esau is about to be ushered out. All right? And what's going to be one of the main factors of this beautiful phenomenon, supernatural phenomenon to take place? Those chariots. All right? Remember, according to the book of Psalm 68, and I'm just roughly paraphrasing, it talks about the 20,000 chariots. All right? That's going to descend when that time comes. All right? So that's going to be the spaceships. And that's a beautiful thing, because the slave ships, that's a curse. But the spaceships, for the 1/3 of the hopeful elect, will be a true blessing. All right? So I'm going to go to the book of Revelation 4:1. And it reads, After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, or meaning come up over here, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. So that's John the Revelator. He is revealing about what's to come. All right? Verse 2. And immediately I was in the spirit, and beheld, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. Verse 3. And that one that sat on the throne would be none other than Yahushua HaMashiach. Verse 3. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And this is his physical description. All right, Hamashiach, Yahushua. Ain't no damn blonde-haired, blue-eyed, red-skinned, pale-skinned dude with stringy-ass hair. No. And was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. And verse 4. And round about the throne were 24 seats, right? Which would equate to 24. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders, or 24 elders, sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. Woo! Oh, yeah. So this is going to be the aftermath of when Yahushua Hamashiach make his triumphant return. And again, the hopeful 1/3 elect men, women, and children will be beamed up into these chariots, these spaceships. All right. So that's why my lesson is titled From Slave Ships to Spaceships. All right. So Revelation 15:1. And it reads, "And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of Yahweh," which is happening right now. Verse 2, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire." So what is this sea of glass? What does that represent? That's going to be the glass bottom of these chariots or these spaceships, where once the 1/3 elect gets beamed up right before the nuclear destruction takes place, we're going to be ascended up into the atmosphere for a short period of time. But while, hopefully me included, us being up there, we're going to have a first class view through that sea of glass, being, shown that the destruction of Babylon, mainly Babylon, is going to take place in real time. Y'all heard? And to finish Revelation 15:2, "And them that had gotten the victory over the beast," right? That beast, 666, and the image, over his image and over his mark, which is that microchip, and over the number of his name, which is 666, I just mentioned that, "stand on the sea of glass having the harps of Yahweh." Verse 3, "And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord Yahweh Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints." In verse 4, "Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest." Woo! Beautiful, Yapa. So simply put, in Revelation 15:4, once that kingdom of heaven is established and the wicked ass kingdom of Esau is finally ushered out, guess what? It's going to be captivity session time. All right? "All nations shall come and worship before thee." So how are they going to worship before us, 1/3 of the hopeful elect? Through captivity, through slavery. All right? "For thy judgments are made manifest," or made clear, made to put to light. All right? So, hey, this is what's coming up. This is what's coming our way, Yasharala. And believe me, I cannot wait. I can't wait. I'm serious. Each and every day that I wake up, by the grace of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash Brakatham, is one day closer to this. You understand? You feel me? That's the biblical scripture in Revelation that I just recited. You see how the elect man gets that bird's eye view of thermonuclear destruction? You see that? If you're not that elect man and lady Well, this is not what you don't want to see. You want to see Babylon continue to go on and go forward. But if you are truly the elect man and the elect lady, this is what you want to see. Like that image I just displayed. Y'all heard? So that's going to conclude this beautiful and spiritual lesson for today. Hopefully someone gets edification out of it. And as always, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, by Hashem, Slakia, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakodash, Brakatam, Kwam Yasharala, rise Israel. And as always, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom, shalom, shalom.